Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, and I don't know, let's see, I'm going to start here. Welcome to another edition of the Aloha Pools and Spas Deep Dive Podcast. A little different. We're not in our studio today, but what we're doing is we're going to actually demonstrate something for you today with Brad Cook. And we've got, who do we have with us, Brad?
A longtime friend, Peter Von Hofgarden. He lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Peter and I have gone back. We go back around 30 years, something like that, and we're members of the same buying group. And if there's ever a situation where iron sharpens iron, it's definitely Peter, or in Peter's case, iron sharpens lead. Anyway, I've learned a whole lot from Peter over the years, and I hope I've been able to contribute little tidbits of at least learning not Peter knows what not to do by watching what we do here at Aloha. But Peter has been a sauna enthusiast for several years and a hot tub enthusiast as well as a retailer in Nashville. He owns Pool and Spa Depot up there in Nashville and has 5, 7, 9, 20 locations now. I don't know how many locations he has. I don't know if he knows now how many locations he has, but I wanted to bring him in because he can speak very well about the product. I was going to just show everybody my morning routine, what I do when I'm doing right, and hopefully when I'm getting winded and and at a loss for words or unable to talk, Peter can chip in and explain a little bit better than I can, a little bit more eloquently for sure, what's going on when I'm in the hot tub. And I'm going to start off with what I do in the morning now that I got my new fire and ice tub from GPM. Peter's a manufacturer of several different brands of hot tubs, one of which is the fire and ice combination, which is right behind us. So it's a combination hot tub and a chill tub. So once I got one in my house, I started getting in the hot tub in the morning just to warm my body up. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And Peter, if you want to take over for a few minutes to just explain to the people what's going on with with the usage of a hot tub and what's going on in your body when you're getting in that warm water.
Sure, absolutely. Enjoy your soak. Yeah, so Brad and I have been good friends, business colleagues for I think 30 years, actually, coming up this year. And as Brad mentioned, I have almost been raised around the hot tub sauna industry. And one of the key benefits of a hot tub is, of course, the hydrotherapy. And the core benefits of hydrotherapy are the elevated heart rate that can happen in hot water as your body naturally is trying to cool off, the increased circulation, and the oxygen that is then distributed out throughout your body. Um, and from my experience, whether you use a hot tub in the morning to invigorate and get your day started, if you are just kind of waking up and starting your day that way, or if you prefer to use the hot tub in the evening hours, there's probably not a better tool to get you a good night's sleep than soaking in a hot tub for 15 or 20 minutes right before bedtime. And you will feel like you've taken medication. It will put you in a very deep therapeutic sleep, gets you into REM sleep very, very quickly, which is where your body begins to heal.
And
So
can you hear it, Peter?
I can hear you, Brad, loud and clear.
I was just going to interrupt and say that I called Peter earlier this morning. We were kind of pre-gaming this podcast, and he said, "Well, I'm in my hot tub right now." And so I called him a few minutes earlier, and you were soaking. Tell me about what you do in the morning. Is that like a normal daily ritual for you?
Yeah, I was born and raised in the United Kingdom. I've been using a sauna for, gosh, most of my life, and cold plunge and hot tub. So my routine is to pour a big cup of coffee, drink a glass of water. I turn my sauna on to get it preheated. I go out to the hot tub, drink my coffee, turn on some music, relax, watch the sun come up. While I'm in the hot tub, my sauna's preheating. I then get out of the hot tub, already preheated, and go into the sauna for 15 to 20 minutes, where I'm really trying to raise my core body temperature up to above normal. And that's really where the magic happens, which we can talk about when Brad gets to that part of his routine. Then when I get out of the sauna, I usually do 2 rounds in the sauna, 2 15-minute sessions. And then in between each session, I'm a big believer in cold water immersion. There's lots of different kind of cold therapy systems, from cryogenics to, filling a bathtub with cold water. You do not have to spend thousands of dollars to get the benefits of cold water. There's many other less expensive ways to do it. And then if it becomes a part of your lifestyle and you really see the benefits, then you can invest in something that's a little more convenient to use.
Yeah, and so what I'm going to do, and I was just thinking about the sauna and how this thing is going to play out. I'm going to get out here in just a minute, and I'm going to change into some workout clothes because part of what I do on a relatively regular basis is I'll get up and I'll warm up my body for a few minutes, and then I'll exercise. And a lot of times what it is just walking on the treadmill and binge emailing my people in my company, which they know when I'm on the straight and narrow because they get about 50 emails in the morning because my blood is circulating. My ability to think is just a lot more crisp, and it allows me to get my day started a lot before a lot of people get to work. I'm able to kind of lean forward and get a lot done. So I'm going to exercise, and this is going to be a little bit weird. So I'm going to just kind of ask you to talk a little bit more about, we talked on a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and you were able to articulate the whole effect of what all's going on with your body,
Mm-hmm.
in the process, and all the studies that have been shown from people from Scandinavia and Finland and areas like that. It's really pretty fascinating as far as life expectancy, people in it's as far as regular sauna users. And I think people from the Finland area, my timer's going on. Don't they chill in the snow?
Well, actually, a lot of the Scandinavian countries, Brad, have sauna cabins beside a lake or a pond. And so it's not unusual. In fact, I've been to Finland twice with one of our sauna suppliers, and they'll crack the ice and create a little opening and jump right out of the sauna into the hole in the ice. I've done that once before in Cokato, Minnesota. It was -5 degrees, and some friends of mine built a kind of a makeshift sauna. We drug it out into the middle of the lake in Minnesota, and they had a great big chainsaw and cut a hole in the ice, and we all took turns taking a ladder down into the lake. And literally in like 10 minutes while we're in the sauna, the hole in the ice already had a layer of crisp ice across
How
it.
cold
So
was
you had
that
to
water?
break the ice to get in.
How
Does it
cold do
have
you
to
think that
be
water was?
ice cold? Or like what I used to do was jump just from a pool to a hot tub, because when I lived in South Dakota, I just didn't happen to live near a body of water, and rather than go all the way into my uh, apartment to shower or whatever, I just went pool, hot tub, back and forth. So even though it was a heated pool, but it was still around. It was cooler than the other thing. Does that matter? Or I mean, some.
So, there's a lot more research and, modern medicine and more people starting to realize the benefits of hot cold therapy. And, obviously, as I research and learn more, the optimal temperature to maximize the benefit of a cold water experience is generally you want to target it at or below 50 degrees. But like everything, you got to do it responsibly and you build up a tolerance. You build up a tolerance for heat and you build up a tolerance for cold water. And one of the major health benefits of both of these is kind of rewiring your brain to build a higher tolerance for pain. So if you suffer from fibromyalgia, arthritis, and just general body aches or inflammation of any kind, whether it's diet, age, doesn't really matter. As you experience these extreme hot, cold temperatures, it really adjusts the wiring in your brain to be more tolerant to that discomfort. And that's really where the benefit lies. And the energy, that energy boost that you get from cold water immersion is just unbelievable. You get this 4 hour burst of energy that's like drinking 5 espressos, but it's all very natural. And in fact, I have a lot of friends that are in the cold water sauna industry, and they will take a midday cold plunge to get that second wind instead of a cup of coffee at lunchtime or after lunch. They'll do a few minutes in the cold plunge while they're at work, and that just takes them right through the rest of the day.
Yeah, I will attest to that. Can you hear me, Peter?
I'm losing your audio just a little bit there, Brad.
Hear me now? So much.
Let me check on my end and see if
No, I muted my mic. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Are you back now?
Hear me, Peter?
yeah, I can hear you, Brad.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just going to say that my favorite thing about this whole experience is the way I feel afterwards, and it's kind of like a rocket ship. Your body feels clean because you sweat a lot of toxins out, and something about your body recovering from the cold. And can you explain that, Peter?
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a quick before you start in. I'm gonna start doing my old man burpees. So
get it on, Brad.
it's going to be the most horrible form that anybody's ever seen. So it's not really about that. Don't be hating on me. I'm just trying to really, all I want to do is get a sweat worked up but when I get in the sauna, it just will take it over and continue to just make the toxins come out. So pardon me, I'm going to go on mute and I'm going to let you have that. Got a good enough setup?
So what we have found is that when you immerse yourself in cold water, like Brad will do here shortly, when you get out, to really maximize that boost of energy that I was talking about for 3 or 4 hours, the real key and the temptation is you want to get back in the hot tub or back in the sauna after you get out of the cold plunge. But if you really want to maximize the benefit, you want to not warm back up afterwards. You want to allow your body to heat up naturally. And this is really where you get that kind of boost of energy from the cold plunge. If you come out of the cold plunge and then go heat back up in the sauna or in the hot tub, then you're really taking away some of that afterglow, if you were, from the cold plunge itself. So the combination of hot cold, if you go to anybody, a physical therapist, if you are recovering from an injury of any kind, you've heard for years and years, put it on ice and then heat it up. They even sell things called hot cold patches. And the whole idea is to get your body's cardiovascular working in as it heats up, an attempt to cool you down. The other thing is, while you're in the sauna heating up, the body is increasing blood flow to your extremities. And one of the ways that you can accelerate that is a good body brush. When you get in the sauna, if you brush from your extremities towards your heart, whether it's from your feet up or your hands into the core, this really can accelerate that blood flow through your system. And as it's doing that, it's taking that oxygen all the way through your body. Then on the flip side, when you get into the cold plunge, everything reverses. So your body goes into this fight or flight mode. And so the blood that is been pushed out to your extremities from the sauna or the hot tub is now pushed back in to protect the core of your body. So one of the other practices that I always like to do is these deep circulatory breathing exercises. And when you do that, you super oxygenate the blood. And so when you get into the cold plunge, you've got this highly oxygenated blood rushing into your kidneys, your liver, your organs. And as I say, your body is going into fight or flight mode. I've found that people trying cold plunge for the first time, and like I say, you definitely need to work up to that. And it's always good to have somebody around you that's done this before, because when you first attempt a cold plunge, your brain is telling you that this isn't natural, this isn't normal, I shouldn't be in this cold water, right? It's telling you to get out or something bad's going to happen. And the fact of the matter is, there's about a 45-minute window there that your brain is telling you to get out. And if you can just hang in there through that first 45 seconds, you will find that the temperature normalizes. A thermal layer across your body will take place, and all of a sudden it doesn't feel quite as cold. It's just as cold, but your body becomes adapted to that. But what happens a lot of time is people will quit before that miracle happens. And so you get in and, there's a little bit of discomfort when you first get in, but this is just your brain telling you that you shouldn't be in cold water.
How long does it normally take for you to adjust, for your body to adjust? Because I take cold showers, and for me, a lot of times when I get into a cold shower, it'll be, probably 3-4 minutes before I really feel like I can finally sink into it.
It takes a little bit of getting used to, obviously. It's a lot easier to get into a sauna or a hot tub because
Right.
There's this sense of kind of ease and comfort when you get in, like taking a hot bath. Of course, the benefits of a hot tub is that you have warm circulating water penetrating the muscles and helping to stimulate that blood flow, right? So that's the easy part. Getting from, either a hot sauna or a hot tub into the ice bath is really where the first challenge comes. but I've heard a lot of avid ice bath users talk about doing this first thing in the morning and really overcoming that first difficult task of the day, and everything becomes much easier after that.
Right. Kind of like choosing the wrench.
Yes.
You do that first, and then everything else seems easy.
Yes, exactly. And you know, there's just an unbelievable kind of euphoric feeling of well-being that happens when you do some kind of regimen like this. And you know, I've been a user of these products for decades, and although we're seeing this thing becoming a very hot trend right now, like we've just invented cold water. People have been doing this since they were cavemen, right? When you think about, you know, an ice bath or a cold water therapy system, it's been going on since the modern age, you know, since back in caveman days, right? People would immerse in cold water and maximize those benefits.
It's looking like it might be sauna time.
It's close. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Are you catching a breath there, Brad?
Yeah. I've already done 166.
I don't know. I think I counted 165.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do 10 more. I tried to think of the most strenuous exercise I could do to get my body heat up pretty quick. And burpees with push-ups and a jump at the end turns into burpees with a semi push-up with a shoulder press at the end. But that means it's working. So I'm gonna do 10 more, and then I'm gonna go directly into the sauna.
Okay.
Good for you, Brad. And then we can talk about some of the health benefits of the sauna, if you like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah. So, you know, when you think about a sauna, what I like to think about is when your body becomes sick, whether you get the flu or a virus, bacterial infection, think about what your body naturally does, right? It'll get a fever. And this fever is designed to raise your core temperature. This is nature's way of healing our body, right? So in everyday life, we're exposed to toxins. So one of the best ways to detoxify your body from the inside out is through hot therapy, some type of sweating, perspiration, allowing your body to detoxify. Your largest organ of your body is your skin. So when you get into a hot sauna, your pores of your skin open up. It's going to boost your circulation system, which creates a natural kind of lymphatic draining. It will definitely help detoxify you from the inside out. In fact, there's been studies all over the world that have shown, you know, farmers that are exposed to chemicals that use a sauna allow them to detoxify that out of the pores of their skin. But the goal in a sauna is to get your body into a feverish state, which looks like Brad's well on his way there with his exercise regimen. But really what he's about to enter into in the sauna is getting his body into this feverish state. We want to get his core body temperature up and get his heart rate up. And then his body is going to perspire, and it's going to push any toxins from the inside out. One of the best ways to accelerate that process is, like I said, a body brush. What that does, it stimulates blood flow to the surface of your skin and just kind of speeds that process up. It's not only good for your heart and good for your organs, but it's also very good for your skin. There are saunas like the one that Brad is in that offer two types of heat benefit. You have the far infrared, which is a kind of a deep penetrating heat where the person in the sauna is heating up. But then you also can add a rock sauna inside, or a traditional sauna heater, which allows you to introduce water onto the rocks, and that will steam up the environment. It will feel like the room is intensifying and heating up, but in all reality, what's happening is your body has heated up from a normal temperature of, say, 98 or whatever your normal body temperature is, up to 100 plus. And if your room, which I think Brad's room there is 165 degrees, so when he puts the water on the rocks, the steam created from those rocks is going to condensate on his body. And another way to further enhance that experience is to get some waterborne. It's got to be a water-based aromatherapy, eucalyptus, birch, lemon, lots of natural sauna aromatherapy systems that you can mix with your water as you put it on the rocks, and that will penetrate the pores of the skin and really help do an awesome job of detoxifying. And just you come out feeling like so much cleaner than taking just a shower or a bath, because your body is being cleansed from the inside out. It's an incredible experience. And I think one of the things that Brad had mentioned to me yesterday is that the health benefits and that overall feeling of well-being is so incredibly good and so incredibly natural that you want to share that with everybody so they can really experience that, and also benefit from all of the health benefits of doing this. And, again, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to do this. It's something that you can build up to. There's kind of ways to kind of cheat the system and get that hot therapy. It's just a little easier and more convenient with a modern sauna and a cold plunge.
How do you
Peter, can you hear me?
somebody that doesn't have a sauna or a cold plunge yet? How would they do that? You said you don't need these things. What's the best way? Just a shower and something like that, or?
So yeah, that's a great question. Of course, we're all in Tennessee, right? So Tennessee is one of those climates where we do get all four seasons. So when you run your cold water shower, which is one of the ways to at least begin that cold water exposure, in the middle of July, that cold water is not quite as cold, right? If you run your cold water this time of year, then we're bringing in much cooler water. So the benefits of doing that this time of year are incredible because the cold water shower is very cold. If you are trying to attempt to, decide whether this way of life is something you want to adopt, you have a freezer in your house, which most people do nowadays. You can simply take some Tupperware containers, fill them with water, freeze them in the freezer, fill your bathtub up if you have one, or go to Tractor Supply and get a little trough and create yourself a little cold water environment. Now, the problem with that is you got to drain it, and you really want to keep that water clean. But it's a great way and an inexpensive way to determine if this is something that you want to adopt as part of your lifestyle. Everyone I know that has really been coached through this process has avidly adopted this way of life, because the health benefits and the overall euphoric feeling of well-being are unbelievable.
Brad, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to be. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, or at least I can. Can you hear him, Peter?
Yeah, I can hear you, Brad.
I got you. Yeah. So anytime that I come into a meeting in the morning and I have if I have a good session, like 2 15-minute sessions and a couple chills, the team will know. People can know by the way my energy is and again, that clarity that you bring with you to the meeting. It's hard to explain. That's why I wanted you to be on, because you can talk more about the chemistry in the body. And as I told maybe you yesterday, that I'm the emotional guy. I can just tell you what it does. You can tell how it does it. And, but you know, it makes just common sense. If you're sweating, putting in junk in your body, and you can use the largest organ, I guess, is the skin. Isn't that something that you said one
Yeah,
time?
it is.
And so
It,
you
it,
can release a lot of toxins just by sweating them out.
yeah.
That and what is it though that adds that effect on the chill portion of the chill that magical combination there? And you might have
So
covered that while I was
yeah, we kind of touched on it
over
a little bit,
burping.
but when you're in the sauna, some of the health benefits that people experience, especially as we start to age, right? We get out of bed, joints are a little stiff, muscles are maybe hurting like they didn't used to when we were in our 20s. And, one of the best ways to immediately soothe that is hydrotherapy, which is with the hot tub. One of the ways to take that even further to the next level is to ratchet up that temperature where a hot tub is going to range typically between 100 and 104. When you get into a sauna, depending on whether you're using an infrared or a traditional rock heater, you're ratcheting up those temperatures up from 130 all the way up to 200 degrees in some cases. And the real benefits there are soothing your muscles, helps with blood flow. You're going to find that it reduces stress. So if you're in a high stress job or a high stress environment, physically, mentally, emotionally, this is an unbelievable way to just flush that out. It's going to clean your skin. It's opening up the pores. It's flushing out dirt and bacteria that just naturally we ingest through the air, internally, externally. Detoxifies your body, and just overall unbelievable cardiovascular experience. And I don't know about you guys, but running 5 miles, they say, and again, I'm no doctor, I'm a user of these products, and they say that 20 minutes in a sauna can provide you the same cardiovascular benefit as running 5 miles. It
Yeah, you
doesn't
know it.
seem like that would be accurate, but there's too many clinical researches that have validated that fact. And I'd rather sit and sweat than go run 5 miles if I'm perfectly honest.
Right.
Well, I
Yeah.
can
No
speak to
doubt.
that a little bit. Like right now, can you guys hear me? My yeah, I can feel my heart rate is up every bit as high as it was when I was doing burpees. I'm not winded though, so I'm sure if I were to do burpees, that there's the cardiovascular benefit of that is definitely probably outweighing this. But this has its own supplementation that I think that, and what I will do a lot of times, and just so you know, full disclosure here, I have an Android and a an iPhone. I'm talking to you from my Android, and hold on, I'm trying to get my camera turned around, and I've got my iPhone on a bag of ice here. So if you sit in the sauna, so I'm warning you that you will overheat your camera, or rather your iPhone, if you use it an extended period of time. But I've been getting away with about 15 minutes of use. When I get out, before I come back in, I take everything out. But it has overheated with me before. So what I'm doing today is just sitting this on a bag of ice. But what I'll do is I will hang out in the sauna and check my email. I'll listen to podcasts and just continue my sweat until my 15 minutes is up, and then I'll go and chill. And I've timed myself here, and well, I'm seeing I don't know how much is left on the timer here. Or did I not press start, or did I do it on a different freaking phone? I don't know what I did. Nope, I got 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes left in my sauna, and when I get out, I'm going to go and do the dreaded wash off. And so when you do that, Peter, when you wash off to get before you get in your cold plunge. Tell me a little bit about that regimen for you.
Yeah, look, cold water, if you have a filtration system and a circulation system, is actually much easier to manage than hot water, right? And so what I like to do is keep my water as holistically natural as I possibly can, right? So I don't want high levels of chlorine. I try to use minerals to manage my water. So one of the things that I do to really help manage my cold water is I will do a steam bath after the sauna. So I actually am going in the sauna. I'm sweating. I'm pushing all that detoxification out through the pores of my skin. My pores are now open. So what I want to do is I want to wash off and I want to clean my body after I've sweated in the sauna. So when I go into the cold plunge, I've not only cleaned internally, but also externally. So I'm not carrying a beta load into my cold water plunge. Now that's just because, like Brad, I work around the swimming pool and hot tub industry. And if I'm honest, it's because it's easier to manage the water by doing that. But I do believe what happens when you rinse off, it does help kind of flush all those toxins that might be on the surface of your skin. So you're not carrying them into either your hot tub or your cold plunge. So when I get in the cold plunge, I always found it easier to get into my cold plunge after preheating. Like it's like, okay, my body's overheated. I'm hot. Now I'm ready to cool off. Rather than just walking out and getting into a cold plunge without preheating. And
Right.
although it might seem that it should be the other way around, I rather enter my cold water when I'm very hot.
Can
In
I
your
tell you?
case, you do the cold shower and then the cold plunge. So
No, that's not what I normally do.
it's not.
What? No, what I do is I have a shower right outside my hot tub, and I will always, regardless of the time of the year, as long as it's not frozen up, I've got one of those outdoor, self-draining outdoor showers, and so. But I don't want to waste all of that cold plunge benefit by taking a cold shower. I always turn it up really hot so my body is still good and hot in there. I think it helps me to go the time a little bit better. Not going to do that today because I don't have that luxury. I'm going to go out to the water hose here and just try to be a big boy, and I'm going to hose myself down. So we're going to go mobile here with my phone, I guess. Here in just oh gosh, dog it, it's time to do it.
Go for it, Brad.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow him with the camera too out there.
Yeah. All right. You take
So,
this one as well.
I'll hold this one.
Make sure that you got it.
Now, Brad, make sure you get that head under the cold water because the head is our mercury level. It's our thermostat. It's what tells our body we're too hot or too cold. So I
Okay.
find a lot of people when they get into the cold water, don't take their head and cool it off. And so really, you've got to make sure that your head cools off because that is what tells the rest of your body what's going on.
Well, if you insist,
Yep.
I will do that.
No half measures here, Brad. You got to go the whole way.
I hear you, buddy. I think this is a little bit beyond the whole way, though, because this is ice cold water. What's the temperature outside today? Anybody know how cold it is right now?
In Nashville, it's in the 30s. I can tell you that much.
I think it's about 12 here, Peter. I'm not really sure.
12?
Really, all I want to do is just knock a lot of that sweat off my body. And what I find that is good, I think about it.
is that I just don't have to clean my chill tub out nearly as much. And
Yeah,
I'll put,
exactly.
and I may be under treating it or over treating it, but I've been doing it for a couple years now, and it seems like if I put about a quarter teaspoon of non-chlorine shock in about every other day, and then a quarter teaspoon of a chlorinated shock in, that seems to take care of it. Would you recommend differently, Peter?
No, actually, that's exactly the same regimen. I use a non-chlorine shock. And, sometimes we have friends and family come over and
Set
they'll
timer for
all
3
use the
minutes.
cold plunge. In that case, after everybody's done, I'll put a tiny little dose of chlorine in there just to make sure everything's clean. But I always do it afterwards. By the time I get back in it, it's generally got no chlorine.
So I felt like this would be a good time to let you know kind of my method for getting in freezing cold water. And the temperature, I think, is 41. It says 42 right now. It
Nice.
feels like 32. But I always hold my breath and kind of get in control of my breathing before I ever get down in the water. Could you talk to that a little bit about what's your method for getting in the water and sustaining?
Well, unlike you, Brad, I don't stand in the cold water. When I get in, I want to get in as quickly as humanly possible.
I didn't
So-
mean to.
And I know you're hooked up to a microphone, so my regimen is to get in and under that water, including my head, and I try to stay under for 5 to 8 seconds, and just about to the point where you get that ice cream brain freeze, and then I'll come back up and I sit very, very still. One of the ways to really climatize your body to cold water immersion is not to go in there and yell and scream and kick and fight. You want to put yourself in a very meditative state. And this is a great opportunity to start some breathing exercises where you are breathing in and out in what they call a circulatory breathing pattern. So you don't pause at the top of your breath or the bottom of your breath. You're bringing lots of oxygen into your body. And what's happening now is the blood that has been pushed out to your extremities because you're hot is being pushed in the opposite direction into your core of your body, into your organs, and you're pumping oxygen, which is, the Mother Nature fuel in which we all live on, right into the core of your body. And that's a great temperature. If you're doing this for the very first time, you might start a little bit warmer than that, like at around 50 or 55. And you'll be very surprised how quickly you can acclimate down into the 40-degree mark. That's really where the magic happens.
I did just that when I first got mine. I started off at 50 degrees, and I think I dropped it down 1 degree per day for every day until I got down to about 40.
Yeah.
And I set it for 3 minutes a day because I wanted to be a big boy, but I haven't done it over 2 minutes for the past little bit. And my 3 minutes is up, so I'm going to go ahead and dunk my head underwater here real quick. So you can go ahead and remind us what happens when I dunk my head underwater, other than the fact that I'm freezing my tail off.
Well, your head is your thermostat, right? So your brain is basically the control unit for your whole body. And so if you don't get your head cooled off, now granted, what Brad's doing right now is not easy to do, but it's telling your brain now that the whole body is now experiencing that cold water therapy. And if you don't do that, your body can miss some of the benefits, or you can actually overheat if you don't cool your head down after a sauna or a hot tub. Even if you just splash cold water in your face, you can find yourself just kind of being hot and overheated. which on a cold day like today is not the worst thing in the world. But during the summer months, you want to make sure you're properly cooled down. And the first 45 seconds in that cold bath is kind of like running the first mile of 5. It just sucks. It's just an awful experience. But this too shall pass. And you have to just push through that first 45 seconds where your body is in fight or flight saying, get out of here, or something bad's going to happen. And you know that it won't. And so this is where you have to use your willpower, use your mind over matter to just go through that period of time and get past that threshold. And then the 2-3 minutes after that, it's really no big deal. You get really big benefits.
So I was thinking about this the other day, because a lot of people that either work here or I talk to about this, they say, oh, no, thank you. I'm good and all that. But if everybody knew how good they would feel. So if you went through that 2 minutes or 3 minutes of pain, knowing what you were going to get out of it the rest of the day, to me, it's just a no-brainer kind of thing to do. But I still have to make myself do it some days. There's days that I'll work out and I think, oh yeah, I don't think I have 3 extra minutes. I got to get on a meeting or whatever. Like, I don't have 3 minutes, but I got to talk myself. I got to still self-talk,
Yeah.
Even though I know on the other side of it. But it's like exercise or anything, when you decide whether to or not to, you make a decision on how you're going to feel for the rest of the day. And when you get on the backside of it, you're thinking, man, I'm glad I did that. You're never glad you didn't exercise. You're never glad you didn't chill when you know the difference. Once you've done it, and you know the feeling that you get, and the clarity, and the ready to jump through a wall.
There's a lot of very famous celebrities out there that I follow, and they're very big cold water advocates, and they all refer to this as, well, some of them I can't say on this podcast in case there's minors listening, but they talk about that first big battle upon wakening, right? And there's so many other holistic routines that can be added to a morning regimen. There's huge benefits in first sunlight with vitamin D naturally coming into your body.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of research on grounding mattresses, where you ground your body, or you take your feet onto the ground and you naturally ground out your body, right?
Yeah.
And then the circulatory
Chad, our sales
breathing.
manager's big into that.
Yeah. And the circulatory breathing, which allows you to highly oxygenate your body to really, truly give it the fuel that it needs to run on its maximum ability. So it's just a combination of a lot of different things. And if I can avoid a pharmaceutical, or if I can avoid taking a pain medication for the aches and pains of just naturally aging, and maybe, some of my earlier sports injuries that are coming back to haunt me, this is just a great holistic way to kind of rewire your brain to raise your threshold so that you have less discomfort.
Something that I've witnessed recently is all the health and wellness industry and all the supplements that you can take that are out there. And we have a mutual friend, Dave Gardner. I talked to him right before Christmas, and he said, man, I feel better than ever. I'm taking this stuff called IM8. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes,
Okay,
I went to dinner with Dave. He was telling me all about it.
Yeah, so he talked me into taking it, and so I've got a 3-month supply, and they try to put me on a subscription. I said, no, I'll cancel it. If I feel good in 3 months, I'll re-up my order. I'm not a fan of subscription stuff. I just think that I don't trust it. But so they emailed me back graciously, said, no, it's good. here's your 3 months, and if you want some more, here's how you can re-up. But they say you've got to take it for 3 months before you feel better. And you got to take this for 3 minutes, or this is like a 30-minute routine every day, and you feel better that day. And you can tell the effects of it that day. It's instant gratification. It's instant results. And it's just, and I'll tell you, if you go and buy supplements and you get all the ones, the monthly payment on supplements can get out of hand. So, I mean, if you think about doing this versus in the instant where you know that you're getting the benefit versus making payments on stuff that you're putting in your body that may work, I think I might feel better. You definitely feel better doing this, man. It's freaking amazing. And I'm obviously I'm the salesperson of it, but I don't care if anybody ever buys one of these from me or not. You know, I make my living on a lot of different products, but I believe in this stuff wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And I just thought it'd be interesting for us to get together and talk about this, because I know you're a big enthusiast of it. And do you know the first time I ever sat in a sauna?
I think I do. And if I'm not mistaken, Brad, it was in 2001 or 2002. Yep. I'll let you tell the story, because I think I had to do a lot of convincing to get a group of 10 of us that are all in business together to come do this. And they looked at me like, you're crazy. This is before sauna cold plunge became, this big movement that we're seeing, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah. Peter was doing it before it was cool. So we were at one of our first buying group meetings. I guess it might have been a winter meeting. I know it had to have been winter because there was snow on the ground.
It was.
And he was trying to convince a bunch of us guys, and we were quite young at the time, but some of them seemed old at the time, which now, no, they were young, as I think of it, 20-something years later. But we had, Peter had us over to his house, and he had a wood burning sauna, and he had it up to must have been 180 degrees, and he was telling us about how the Finnish people use their saunas at 160, and the Russians and somebody else uses theirs at 180 to 220 or some craziness, and we were bumping 180, I would think, and I'd never done it before, and I was like smoking hot, and I was just stupid enough to think that I needed to take my wine in there. I remember that. So I was in 180 degrees drinking wine. Like, I had no clue what I was doing. Obviously, one of the huge list of stupid things I've done in my life. But what was the routine is you stay as long as you can, and then you go jump into Peter's pool off his waterfall, and then you swim over to the shallow end and get out, and then go sit on the top of his spa and hold your feet in the air and stay there, I don't know, for 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever. And then you go and get back in the sauna. And we did that 3 cycles. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, okay, whatever. And so glad that's over with. And then Peter ordered pizza. I think Sandra, maybe his wife, ordered us pizza. And about 45 minutes later, I was sitting there. It's almost like my body was floating. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if I told you that or not, but it was just this crazy good endorphin rush feeling came over me, and it lasted the rest of the evening, And from that point on, I thought, well, I got to get one of these, and so I have been a sauna user ever since. So we had them here 20-something years ago. After that, we brought them in and started using them and selling them, but they didn't really sell all that well in our rural areas back then. So we brought them back in now, and we're excited about it. Being a user and adding that chill tub to the mix, it's a life-changing deal. It's changed the way that I do mornings, I'll say that. So I'm excited. I appreciate you coming on and sharing everything.
Brad, when I think about that meeting, I think it was 25 years ago. And, you know, the same group of guys still continue to meet to this day, annually. And I don't know how many meetings over 25 years we've had, but I can't really remember any one of them except that one. That meeting is talked about, you know, that experience, that euphoric feeling where your dopamine levels go through the roof and your endorphins are kicking, and that just overwhelming euphoric feeling that you get after completing that cycle is something that everybody should experience. And it's done completely naturally without any kind of chemical additives, and so good for you. And I just hope that anybody listening gives it a try, because, you know, when something that good for you makes you feel like that, you want to tell everybody. You know, I started doing this on a very regular basis several years ago. I dropped 36 pounds. I really didn't change anything. I didn't start eating rabbit food, or, you know, I just started doing a regular daily hot cold exposure, and 36 pounds dropped off me like that, and it's managed to hold. You know, I don't eat the healthiest food always. You know, I don't have this crazy diet. I just found that doing this on a regular basis has rewired my metabolism, my threshold for pain, and you really want other people to experience that same thing. So it was a pleasure to come on here and join you guys this morning, and hopefully somebody hears something that could maybe change their life, right?
I dropped 18 pounds from October 1 till December 24th. And, but I focused on the exercise, diet, and the regimen that we just went through there as well. But it was really good for me. I went on the ELF diet over the past few days: sugar for breakfast, sugar for lunch, sugar for dinner, sugar for snacks. So I've got to get my my New Year's resolution on for sure. Peter, I want to thank you. I want to thank you first for your friendship over the past 30 years. I can't tell you how much that your influence on our business has helped our business to flourish and do well. And I value your friendship immensely and appreciate you coming on and doing this. And if I can ever do anything for you like this, I feel like I'm always the receiver
Not at all,
on this
Brad.
end, and I feel like that I'm always receiving from you, and I appreciate it and everything. And if I can ever do anything for you, I want to be able to do that.
Likewise, I really, first and foremost, appreciate the friendship, the ability to pick up the phone and share things that we have done together over the last 30 years. We learn from one another. We share best practices, you know, and constantly try to kind of reinvent a better version of what we do, and a better experience for our customers and our colleagues, right? That's what this is all about.
Speaking to that, I probably should remind everybody that this hot tub slash chill tub over here, this fire and ice, is a product of GPM, that your company that Peter created several years ago. And as far as I know, it's the only chill and heat combined tub in the industry. So
Yeah,
and
thank you, Brad.
yeah, and so I use my chill. I use my hot at night and early in the morning for 5 minutes, and my chill for 2 to 3 minutes. I know I'm supposed to do 3, and maybe I'll start now. That's the new year, new me, right? But yeah, and I think it's a fantastic product. It's a great idea. Cindy doesn't sit in the hot tub with me, so it's a big one-person hot tub, and then obviously the chill tub is just perfect as well. So I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, Icelandic brand products provide some really nice health and wellness benefits if if that fits your lifestyle and your budget. Go see Aloha and
Pool
they'll
and Spa Depot
handle-
in Middle Tennessee.
There you go. Either one.
Got it.
We would love to share the experience that you witnessed this morning with as many people as possible. Again, whether you buy one or not, I really think, Brad and I feel the same way. We just want people to experience that euphoric feeling of well-being. There's ways to cheat the system and do it without spending a lot of money. Then if you decide to adopt that lifestyle, just know that there's quality products available that can be locally serviced. You don't have to buy something online and hope it doesn't break. You've got local representation there that can not only supply the product, but also how to use the product and how to maximize those benefits, because coaching somebody through this process is very important. Otherwise, your body tells you, oh, I got to get out of this cold water before the miracle happens.
On that chill for sure.
For sure.
All right, man.
Well, I
We
guess
think-
that wraps us up. Peter, it was great to meet you. And
You too, sir.
hope we'll keep seeing you in the future.
Yep, and maybe we'll do this in reverse sometime in the future. I appreciate you guys, and happy to help any way I can.
Oh, and hey, we got a new tagline. Let's try it.
Oh yeah, what was it? Dive safely, everyone.
Dive safely.
Dive safely. I like it.